All right. I have not done anything on Twitch for a long time, so I'm confident I'm going to forget like 5 of the pieces of it. So here's hoping. Oh, step 1. There you go. Okay, cool. So here's what I'm doing. There's this new service called briefs.fm, which allows you to record really quick 3-minute podcasts. And they're limited to 3 minutes. You record something, you send an email out to them, and it just gets published. You don't have the opportunity to do a lot of kind of editing or tweaking or worrying about it. You just basically send them the thing. Hi, Francis Mori 7. You just send them the thing, and then they publish it online. That's it. And you end up getting a site kind of like this, briefs.fm/the 3-Minute Geek Show. As you can see, I've named mine the 3-Minute Geek Show based on having a 5-minute Geek Show, but this one's limited to 3 minutes. So I thought it'd be just fun to try it out. So it's really new, right? And this is your landing page, and this is a perfectly fine landing page. But I was curious about seeing what it would be like to build a kind of an open source Laravel application that allows you to hook into any RSS feed, XML RSS feed for a podcast, like an iTunes friendly one, and build a kind of like simple landing page where you've got like a listing of all the episodes at the beginning. You've got a unique URL for each one. You got a player, and you got like the discuss link down at the bottom. So the first thing we're going to do, I've already got a Laravel application up and running at 3minutegeekshow.com, which basically right now is just a whole bunch of links. There's no actual Laravel code right now. Howdy, Mr. Sugar. What I want to do with this is turn this into something that basically pulls in a package that knows how to consume RSS and can list out all of the episodes from the show. And then when you click on one, it'll take you to a URL for that individual episode. It'll have a player, it'll show the title, it'll show the body, and it'll have a discuss link. And then eventually I'd like to extract that out to an open source package, get some nice designs, and make it very easy for somebody to set up their own kind of podcast landing page for any RSS feed. Start the workday. Where are you? This is the end of mine. It's 5 o'clock. I'm about to go home. That is wonderful. Highly. So let's get going. So the first thing I did one little bit of prep before I got on this, which is I went to Packagist and I looked up RSS. And thankfully there is an RSS package. It doesn't do much, but it's work that I wouldn't have to do. So essentially what this RSS package does is it's got its own... Oh, stop. It's got its own RSS parser, which basically uses some basic kind of parsing on the RSS feed. Where did they put that one? Find that RSS feed. It might be a different dependency that they have actually, but basically it does RSS parsing, and it just basically it's very clearly kind of Laravel oriented. It shows how to set up in Laravel, and it ends up putting everything into basically an extended Laravel collection. So you basically tell it what's my feed, and you can do things like get a count. You can get the info about the feed itself, and you can also get articles, which is a collection, which means you can map over that and everything. So let's do that real quick. That is wonderful. I am so happy to hear that it was helpful. It makes my day. So one other note, I'm trying to learn Vim again. So I'm going to be stumbling through Vim rather than moving quickly in Sublime Text. So judge me all you want. Haters gonna hate. So first thing I want to do is we want to pull in that package. So composer require. Oh, cool. Very cool. So vinelab/RSS. And we'll take a look at what their examples look like. Oh, okay, cool. We're just going to add their service provider, and it'll automatically bring in. Oh, unless you'd like to customize it. Nope, I wouldn't. So, man, Vim is really taking some getting used to. All right. So let's go to our config app.php, service providers. I'm using MacVim, so I'm going to allow myself to use the mouse a little bit, even though I know that's kind of cheating. But you'll see me go in and out of using like the correct thing, and I'm like using the arrow keys, and I know you're not supposed to do that in Vim, so I'm like trying to get that, but it's hard to like force myself to be really slow when I just want to hack something out real quick before I go home. We'll probably get an error here because I shouldn't hit save on that until it actually loaded these files, but let's see what happens. No error. Fantastic. I'm trying Vim. I wanted to give it a month, and then I ended up almost not coding at all this month. So I ended up needing to do it again for a little bit. So I just got pinged in IRC, but I don't know where my IRC is. I don't know where this is. Everything's going slow. Yeah, I wanted to give it a month, but I almost didn't code at all this past month, and so I ended up deciding to give it another month. So far, I'm liking it. What's up, Mr. Bronner? Howdy, did you? Hands off the mouse. Oh, don't judge me. I'm using MacVim to give me a little bit of a bridge over to kind of make it not quite as slow as it would be, and although I know it's cheating a little bit. Okay, cool. So here's our use case. We don't need to pull this in, and so let's just make a route real quick. Oops. And we're going to do just like a, this is our test route before I dump the. All right, so RSS equals new Vine Lab RSS, and then let's go grab my URL for the 3-Minute Geek Show, which is this right here. And then, of course, that'll be an environment variable later. Actually, let's just make an environment variable now. Does anybody know how to split horizontally in Vim instead of vertically? Because I don't, and it's driving me nuts. Okay. Also, any Vim users, this thing, I forget, I think this is vinegar. Every single time I navigate down to the root, it farts, I think, on the fact that there's .git and it doesn't want to navigate .git, and now I can't get over to this pane. So I can get in this pane all I want, but like no matter what I do, I can't get over to this right pane. So Vim, you're killing me. So I actually, every time this happens, I have to quit Vim. And Jeffrey, yeah, I see, I haven't gone to Jeffrey's tutorials yet, so total fail on that one. So now I have to basically go back in and spin Vim back up and get it back to the place I want it to be, which is driving me nuts. All right, so what I wanted to do was go to my env.example. We're not going to be sending mail. We're not going to be doing Redis. H-split and V-split. Yeah, I'm using VSP, and so, maybe HSP? Oh, vertical split, HSP. No, that's not it. Yeah, because VSP is what I've been using for the split, so I don't know. If anybody figures it out, let me know. Okay, so anyway, what we want to do here is, so what are our RSS, or what are our environment variables? We basically got RSS, URL, and then we've got discuss key. I think those are basically the things we're working with here. So SP will horizontal split. Really? You wonderful person, you. SP versus VSP. That's what it is. All right. So let's go to our actual env file. And it turns it's SP. All right. So let's go back to grabbing this RSS URL. Let's get. We don't have a discuss key, so we'll not worry about that right now. And I am using the keyboard up and down arrows instead of H, J, K, L, M. So I'm failing on that one. So yeah, I need to watch Jeff's tutorials because I'm sure that I would be much more up to date. Hello, there you go. Than I am right now if I had. Okay, cool. So we've got that RSS URL. So now let's go to routes.php. So again, we're just going to hack this right now. Let's get back into the VineLab documentation. And we want to pull in a feed. I am a monster. I'm a horrible cheating monster. So again, we're just going to do it the hacky way right now. Hacky way is RSS URL. And let's just see what we get. Dying dump on the feed. So let's serve it. Serve port equals 8098. Why not? That's a fun port. Give shift. Also give shift squiggly brackets a go. Okay, let's just try that right now. Oh, probably. What? Interesting. I've never seen it before. So shift in the brackets is going between blank lines, I guess. Interesting. All right, so that route is for test. So we should see a dying dumped array of articles, and then our collection of articles. Look at us. This is working. We just have all of our information here, and we're able to pass it into a view already. Fantastic. So here's what we want to do. If you're a bit more active in IRC, you know. Yeah, okay. So I'm sure somebody is chatting me that in IRC somewhere. Okay, let's get rid of this crap. We don't have any app routes. So I guess we don't need this welcome view anymore. The welcome view is really going to end up being like we're going to return view, and it's going to be episodes.index. I don't know if that's the actual syntax we're going to want. And that's going to be basically like the root. And then this is going to be slash, episode ID. We're going to have to figure out exactly how to get an episode ID. Shortcut is really nice when you're in a class or less. I'm sure I'm not following whatever those are. I don't know if this is Laravel 5.2, so we can probably do, we don't need route automating because I'm not actually going to build it. Okay, cool. So this is going to be a specific episode. So again, this is all going to need to be cached at some point, but let's say we pull it fresh right now. So how are we going to identify from this feed? So this feed doesn't have like an ID on it. So what are the uniquely identifying things that would allow us to give us an actual URL from this? My thought would be it'd be something like my so 5minutegeekshow.com/5 is episode 5. So we might just have to assume that every single time you get this RSS feed, you get the entire list, and then it just counts from the beginning. It's got this, good, but it doesn't have like a unique ID on here or a UUID or anything like that. So I think that's the only option we're going to have, is going to be able to count from the beginning. So based on this particular invitation, are we getting, okay, so it starts at most recent. I used tmux for a while. Hello, Aurora Ari. I used tmux for a while, and it didn't provide me anything that I don't already get from iTerm2 and MacVim. If I was using Terminal Vim, I would have liked tmux better, but since I'm using MacVim, it wasn't actually particularly better. Okay. So we're going to just go for some duplication here. So, and let's go to like, something like this. I will distinguish unnecessarily. What are we going to call that? We'll call it podcast, I guess, and it's going to be feed info. So this is what I'm going to do there, and then here we're going to do the same thing. And again, this is all hacky. We'll work on this view episodes.show with episode. I guess we want the podcast info too, right? Feed info with episode, and then it's going to have to be some ability to get proper splits and hotkeys. Yeah. Oh, I forgot you guys can see me. Gosh, glad I wasn't picking my nose or something. The episode is going to be some ability to get episode. So the interesting thing here is at this point we still just have episodes. I think that's what it is. Yeah, articles is what they call it. So how do we now scope this down? Episode equals feed articles. So let's assume that we limit this to be a digit. This is going to be an integer. So these two, Digia and Handsome Steven, are trolling me here and in IRC at the same time. So just if you wonder why I'm having trouble paying attention right now, it's the trollage is why. Okay, so we've got this list of episodes, and we want to return it back to one of them. So if it was an array, you'd, I guess, just array index, and I think collections expose array index. There must be the ability, I bet you that the collections have the, like, let's assume it's actually an integer, right? And so let's assume that ID is 1. Well, then we want to get the first one. Well, first of all, we want to resort it based on date reverse, but also we want to be able to like get it at that index. So basically, somehow, let's just do this. It's going to be wrong right now. Episodes first, and then this needs to be reverse sort So sort by date ascending, get by, ID index. Cool. So do a split. Look at me growing up. Not just, I know how to do different kinds of splits right now. Oh, gosh darn it. So this is the same thing I was running into. I am at the office right now. I'll be going home soon. So again, I think this is vinegar is now stuck, and I can't get down to this split. And now I'm going to, in order to keep programming, unless I want to just lose this space, I now have to quit MacVim. Oh, interesting. Quitting just that one pane fixed it. Okay. So what do we want to do right now? Resources, views. Okay, so what don't we need? The welcome page, I'll actually keep it. So I'm going to copy the welcome page into resources, views, episodes, index.blade.php. Oops, I forgot to preface that with the bang. Bang copy, resources, views, episodes, index, blade, PHP. No such file or directory. There's probably a way to do copy. Okay, I'm going to learn how to do this. Resources, views, episodes. Okay, one more time. Copy, resources, views, episodes, index.blade.php. Just go to new file. Yeah, I thought about doing that, but I was trying to do it this way because I got stuck doing it this way. Okay, so here's our index.blade file. Oh, I haven't even set up a layout in this one. Oh, what is wrong with me? See, this is the type of place where being in Vim is going to be a pain in the butt, because normally what I do in Sublime Text, and I basically like grab this whole big chunk of stuff and I just copy it and paste it and move it around. And the need to do this in a, like in Vim is just crazy. I'm like, okay, so I guess, actually, you know what? Let's not worry about that right now because we have a limited amount of time. Let's go in here and just say, show me my episodes. So what do we have on the root page right now? Okay, cool. So let's drop a whole bunch of stuff from here. Let's drop the... yeah, it's just the problem is copying and pasting things like plain text in Vim just feels jankier. So we're going to drop almost everything. And just get a list of the episodes for a minute. I think I'm just a little overwhelmed by all the things that are going on right now, so I just need to delete some stuff between chatting and all the things that I have going on here. So I'm going to just delete some stuff. And it is, I feel much slower in Vim. That's the thing, is I feel like frantic in Vim. I feel like I'm always like, things happen in my brain coding-wise, and it takes me a while to translate them into Vim, which I know is just like the learning process. So it just is a little frustrating to do it. So select everything, GGVG. Yeah, no, I know how to do that. Okay, so let's just say list eps here. Save it and just see where that gets us. Okay, so, okay, cool. List of episodes right here. That's what we're going to do right now. We're just going to stick just a big old div. It's just going to be janky and okay, cool. So let's just do this for right now. So at for each episodes as episode, and for each, I guess we'll make it a, gosh darn it. That's a new Neo Complete, I think is what it's called, and it's a Vim plugin that provides you the ability, like when you're typing something that exists elsewhere, to be able to do this. But if you don't want to do that, instead you just want to go down, this is probably a point at which I'm being burned for not using HJKL. Let's see, if I was using, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Okay, so we're starting the Ember Reader. Do you have your RSS URL to share? Sure, RSS URL is available. Actually, if you just go to 3minutegeekshow.com and then click on the big icon, it'll give you that URL. It's really nice when you get back. Yeah, and to be honest, I've used Vim on and off most of my life, just for SSHing in, but I've never gotten nearly as good as at using it as I am Sublime Text, and so that's why I keep trying and I keep getting frustrated because I'm like, I'm trying to do something fast and I'm way slower than I am Sublime Text, and then I get flustered like I'm feeling right now, and then give up. So here's me trying. So I actually forget what the shape of episode is, so let's just take a look at that real quick. Oh, that's not an episode. Oh, episode has an info array on it? probably an array because there's no actual enforced structure. So, do I have to like get info or something? Come on. All right. Oh, and I can't look up article because this is ignoring my vendor directory. Use been previous spot text string moving editor's piece pretty strong. Love the strom. Okay, article. Info array protected. Okay, I don't have access to it. So how am I supposed to be getting these? Oh, really? Come on. All right. All right. So let's look at our array again and see what information we have available. So let's put the title in here. So it's using basically magic getters to pull that information out of the info array, but doesn't actually give me access to the info array itself. So we're going to do stuff like this. Title, you know, and let's see what else we want. Is there a URL? There's a link, but the link for each episode just takes you to the briefs. I think it's because briefs.fm doesn't actually have a page right now. So let's just do, oh, you know, we don't have the ability to link it internally because we have no idea how we're going to actually figure out the episode ID from here. Figure this out. All right, so we've got the title, description, link, category, publish date. I go so we can put the date in. And I guess later we can pull out the MP3 URL. So I guess, yeah, let's do this for right now, and then like put the publish date in here. Episode. Was it pub date? And then we'll pull that into Carbon and format it nicely. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? We got a list of all of our episodes. Click into one of those, and then it says figure this out because that doesn't exist. Okay. So the next thing to figure out is how do we... Okay, this is me doing another Vim thing. I see all the buffers I have open, and there's a way to quickly autocomplete one of the buffers you had open recently. It's probably going to be faster to use that to get to routes.php instead of to use the control P fuzzy matcher, but I can't remember what is it. Is it B? It is. Aha, bam, that was awesome. Okay, cool. So what we need to figure out is how are we getting this individual ID here to show that? So first of all, I need to take a collection and sort it. And I can never remember the syntax for sorting eloquent collections versus normal Laravel collections. So I'm actually just going to look it up. I'm just going to Google that sucker. I think it might be order by, but it might be sort. It might be neither. Come on. There we go. Wait, is there no? Maybe the 5.2 docs made it better. There we go, available methods. Sort by, now we want to sort by ascending, and we want to sort by the published date. I feel like that's not going to be enough because of the needs we have for the date, but let's just try it. So, all right, it's B, but you can hotkey control P to show open buffers, control P fuzzy in my case. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay, so let's try it. Episodes, order. Oops, sort. I was right that it was sort. Wait, sort by. And then it's. I don't know if it's going to have access to pub date though. Is there any way to make these just automatically expand? I hate this stupid thing. Okay, so the first one I would like to be the first date, and it is not. Right now it's the last. Right. I feel like I'm gonna have to sort by a closure because I need to be able to convert these pub dates into something sortable, because right now they're stored as basically this string right here. It doesn't know it's a date, and this is, you know, not going to be sortable. So here we go. Let's try this. So we're going to sort by episode key. Let's just die dump on an episode to make sure that I'm understanding what I have available to me at the moment. Okay, cool. So now we want to do, you know, carbon. I think you can just new up carbon like that. Yeah, cool. Did it parse it correctly? Yes, it looks like it did. I think it just sorts by whatever you returned there. Yeah, so I think that's going to work. I'd actually really like to map, I might actually just map them over. Like I might create a custom version of this Vine RSS thing so that I can, because it's not like I'm ever going to want them not to be carbon. So I might, you know, extend that. So, but what we want to see here is, do we now have the first one first? No, we don't. Okay. Yeah, I think parse and new end up doing the same thing, but somebody can verify that for me if you feel like it. 1931. Okay, so we're sort by ascend. So we're doing sort by, we're doing ascending, and I feel like it's not working, and I've got to figure out why. Is it one of these maybe? It doesn't actually assign it to itself. Yep, that's what it is. Cool. All right, so now we're sorting by that because that's the ability to sort by carbon. So that's it. Yeah. So latest first is actually how it is off the bat, but I actually don't want that. All right. Thanks for hanging out, Chris. You're the man. Okay, so we've got this date sorted thing, and really what we're doing here is just like a hacky proof of concept to figure out how can I turn what is theoretically eventually going to be an integer ID, you know, number one, into the ability to pluck it off of here. And I know there's a way to do that. There's one of the methods that just says give me the one at this index, but again I never remember. It's slice. Okay, there you go. So cool. So now we want to say, you know, assuming it's actually correct, episode would be episodes slice, and then just give me that one, and then you want to limit it by one. I'm kind of surprised there's not one that's like basically an alias to slice it just for a single one. I bet you there is actually. Let's look real quick. Like I feel like it would be like index or something like that, but I could be wrong. Again, anybody who knows this can just answer if you know to make my life faster. Take, is that what it is? No, because that doesn't allow you to specify where it's starting, right? Pluck? No, I don't think so. I mean, slice will work. I can just pick the one and the limit. That's what I've always done in the past, but I feel like there actually should be one that just does this. Like, give me the one at this specific index. Anyway, somebody can figure it out. I know how to do slice, so I'm going to do slice. Just pull the collection pull the item from the collection at this particular index. So basically, I'm going to say, give me the one starting at ID and only give me one of them, and that's going to give me one episode, right? But I feel like there's probably a better way to do it. There's a more, whatever the word is, right way to do it. Yeah. So this right here. So we end up wanting to say, is that what it is? Yeah, there you go. I assume that works for numerical keyed ones as well. Because I've only ever used get as like a to get for an associative array like this. Oh, you know that there's that zero index. Interesting. So zero is not the one. That's not the one that I would want. Because I would want 0 to be the first one, and that's the third one. So what's going on here? I thought we just sorted that, so this isn't a problem. feels like it's working perfectly, except it's working on the non-sorted version. Oh, yeah, that's what it is. So Git depends on the old index. So let's try slice. I bet your slice is actually going to work. Gosh darn it. The only problem with slice is that you end up getting a collection. So you know I'm doing basically first on that, and that just feels. I feel like I'm doing it wrong there. But yeah, this is it. So I do want it to be +1 indexed. Oh, this is so janky. Because it basically ends up needing to be like ID -1 because of the 0 index. So, because we shouldn't get anything for episode 0, and we should, you know. And that's probably something to do with like if you slice it -1, then it starts at the end and all that kind of stuff. So we have to guard against that. Gosh darn it. That's the thing is this is such a janky way of doing it. This can't be the right way to do it. It's working, but there's got to be something better. All right, so let's do a first or fail. So that at least I think you do. Can you do first or fail on non-eloquent collections? Nope. Okay, so first. So if episode equals null, and then we Yeah, I was thinking about resetting the keys, but again, it seems janky to reset the keys. Although if we reset the keys, then we don't have to worry about this whole like, oh, well, I passed it -1. So is it just like that? And then we get based on the ID -1, and then it'll fuss if we try and pass it a -1 ID. Yeah, because it'll be a null. Well, we don't have to do first, right? Okay, so that's not working. So one of these again. Yeah, I will chain it if it ends up working. I just try to keep it in separate lines while I'm testing something new. All right, so that works. That works. Does that cover for our 0? Good, and this is telling me that, of course, we want to write some... yeah, it does. That's what we're going to do. Oh, yeah, I know that y'all are... I forgot you guys have the 15-second lag behind me. So, essentially, episode equals feed articles, sort by, blah, 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 values, get ID -1. And 1 is the first episode. So, of course, we need to write some tests around this, but I need to figure out how to stub out the RSS library. I don't know what their mocking library looks like. I think that actually works relatively well. How's the fix for lag going? No, Twitch never got back to me about whether or not they were actually going to allow me to get rid of the whole lag thing. So they said there's a thing, and I went to the settings page and said, hey, turn off the lag. And they're like, that doesn't work right now. We'll get back to you if we ever decide to. And not even just does the reduce lag thing didn't work, but like it didn't even work to hit the button that asked them to reduce the lag because their actual like user interface was broken. Okay, so let's think about a few things that are on. Oh yeah, we got to build the episode show page first, and then we got to talk about next steps, and then I got to get out of here. So B index.blade.php. Of course, I'm gonna have to extract this out to actually use like partials and layouts right now. But again, we're just going fast. Views episodes show.blade.php. Cam and mic out of syncs. Change OBS scene and then back. Okay. Change OBS scene and then back. Okay. Okay. Let me know if that worked. Probably just showed y'all my primary monitor, and you can see how messy my desktop is. Gotta get out of here. Not going anywhere. I have a family, okay? All right, so right now we're currently listing over the episodes, and now we're just going to be like, here is your episode, my friend. I would have said bro, but you might not be a bro. So, All right, so what do we have? Episode title, episode pub date, and then we had a couple other things that we'll look at in just a second. So let's just see what we get here. Here's your episode, my friend. What is the 5-Minute Geek Show about? Fantastic, we're actually getting things here, and then we can dump on the episode. We can figure out. We have a MP3 available to us in there, which in the URL is GUID. So, you know, wrap me in a player, please, and then episode GUID. What else were we going to potentially want to use in this page? We got the title, author, description. Okay, what description? That didn't work. I guess I'm using the whole DI whatever thing, so you can, like, if you hit DI double quotes, it deletes everything with the double quotes. I guess there's no DI within brackets. I'm trying to stop using the keyboard so much on this. Okay, so VWWWWWX. Okay, that didn't work as well as I wanted it to. I will get there. Okay, so we got the published date, we got the title, we'll do the description. DIT. Let's try one of those. Haha! DIT. You win the day. Alright. Oops, I meant to look at what the other fields were that I had available. Yeah, it takes a while to get used to them. There's this thing called Shortcut Foo, which basically it provides you the ability to log in, and it runs you through like exercises for things. And so you say, hey, I want to learn Vim, and it basically like prompts you to learn them. So I would recommend checking this out for sure. I used it a little bit, and I'm going to start using it more now that I get into Vim more. So, okay. So what else do we have available here? Title we're using, author I don't care about, description we're using, link is not really useful at the moment, category is not really useful, pub date we're just echoing super janky, GUID we're using, and enclosure is nothing. Okay, so that's basically all the things we have right now. So it's ugly, but the information's there ready for us to do some styling work on. The last thing I'd like to do is wrap a really simple player around it. So let's do a split. Oops. And then look out at the fact that one of these should already have player code, which is what audio. So let's grab that. And then delete that. Delete that. And then both of those end up being episode GUID. Eventually, we'll actually have to get a real player in there, because right now this is just going to work for people with modern browsers. So we'll have to use like the, forget what the name of it is, the HTML element audio player or whatever it ends up being. But this should at least work for modern people now. Oh yeah, Shortcut Foo is amazing. All right, and then that's me playing. So episode title, episode description, episode date, episode player. It's at the URL for that episode number. Go to the root, shows you all your episodes with a link to that episode. Oh, it says figure this out. So we need to go to the, how do I close just one pane? Yep, okay. We need to go to the listing page, which is, gosh, this is killing my brain. And we need to figure out this right here. So I'm going to just try this and just see what key ends up giving us. It feels like that's not going to work, but I'm just going to try it. Whoa, what is going on? Why is the text so small? Because it's not styled for this. This is just, it's just nasty, janky stuff. I think I zoomed out too. Yeah, I just zoomed out so I can see a little bit more. Okay, so is that working? 0, 1, 2. See, this whole key part, this makes me really nervous. This does not feel sustainable. I feel like I probably want to put like some sort of translation layer between the response I'm getting back from this Vine plugin and using it here, because a +1 and -1 in the middle of this stuff just feels super janky. But here you go. What is a 3-minute geek show about? Takes you, oh, that's episode 1. That's the wrong one. Yeah, see? Told you it's janky. Because it's, because this ends up basically being, like, this shouldn't be key. This should be like episodes / count minus key or something like that. We mean the MacVim. Dude, that MacVim text is huge. What are you talking about? Don't judge me. Yeah, see, that's the jankiest thing you ever seen in your life. So, farewell. One last word. Oops. So, I mean, so it's basically working. I mean, I need to tweak this. See you later. I need to tweak 10,000 different things. I need caching. I need actual styles. I need, template inheritance and all this kind of stuff. But right now, you could download this super freaking ugly thing. You can go into my, why is .env not working? .env. I'll just edit it. You can just set your RSS URL, and you'll basically get this ugly as sin podcast displayer, XML feed displayer. Jablada, oh, what's up, man? How'd the Ember thing work? You should have told me that was you. I wanted to know what you're doing. One last word is an Ember genius. If you ever have any Ember questions, talk to him. He's Ryan Tablada on Twitter. See, all y'all who have these like super hidden names that I don't know who you are when I'm sitting here chatting with you. Jeez. Okay, so I think that's it. I think I gotta go. But we have, so this is open source already, but it's ugly as sin. It's probably GitHub, Matt Stauffer / 3-minute geek show maybe. So basically, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to add caching. I'm going to clean up some of the jank, and then I'm going to split this out into something that anybody can use. I know you're Silent Works. If your name on here is the same as it is on Twitter, I'm good. Handsome Steven, you're the Handsome Steven. I get this, but some of y'all I don't know. So I'm eventually going to split out this into a package that somebody can say, I have an XML feed, RSS feed, wherever, and I want to make like a really simple landing page from it. Now I'm pitching at people who are using briefs because that's why I'm doing it. But even if you're not using briefs, I think it's going to be a compelling thing. So hopefully I will get back to twitching when I finish it up. Thank you, everybody. I need to go. Oh, got it. Dude, I'd love to do that sometime. Let me know. I'm going to be in Miami next week for Sunshine PHP, so maybe the week after that we'll hook up. But I hope that I'm going to keep working on this, and hopefully I'll keep doing it on Twitch, and let me know what y'all see. Also, check out the 3-Minute Geek Show. If you didn't get the pitch at the beginning when I was starting, there's this new thing called briefs.fm, which is apparently hard to type, where you record 3 minutes or less of audio, email it to them. They do all the audio processing. They put it up on your website. They publish it. So it basically takes all the work out of podcasting as long as you're willing to not be able to edit it, not be able to put your intro music in, to make it super simple, which I like. I like the idea of creating content more often and making it easier to create the content. So I signed up for it, and I created the partner show, sister show to the 5-Minute Geek Show called the 3-Minute Geek Show, where everything I do ends up being just 3 minutes or less and totally unprepared, unfiltered, unedited, just kind of random thoughts. So I'll probably, as soon as, you know what? Let's show off how great Briefs.fm is by, before we're done for the day, recording an episode. Look at this. This is like an ad for Briefs.fm. I'm not going to do it on my computer because last time I tried to record audio on my computer while I was Twitch streaming, it just totally fell apart. So I am opening up voice memos, and I'm going to hit record, and I guess I should figure out what I'm going to talk about. You know what? I don't need to figure out what I'm talking about. This is the 3-Minute Geek Show. We don't figure these things out. Come on. Please let me record. All right, so I just finished up 45 minutes of streaming on Twitch, building the 3minutegeekshow.com website. And basically what we ended up doing, me and a whole bunch of my friends who helped me learn how to use Laravel collections and Vim, even though I should know how to do these things already, we essentially imported an XML feed, an RSS feed from the Briefs.fm site, and we iterated over it on the front page and just showed like the titles and a link to the individual episodes. And then when you click on that, it takes you to 3minutegeekshow.com/episode ID, right? And then you click on that, and then it takes you to a page that just shows that and gives you a rudimentary, basic audio player just for that. Later, we'll come back and we'll make it look nice. We'll add caching, we'll add partials and layout inheritance and all that kind of stuff. And add the ability for somebody else to do discuss comments on it, and the ability for somebody to spin one of these up really quickly. I'd love for this to be like a cool tool that people use to set up podcast websites. But in 45 minutes, there's actually something there. It's ugly as sin, but it actually works. So go check it out. Actually, well, it's not going to be online yet. I'm not going to put it up this ugly, but you'll be able to see it on a branch at github.com/mattstauffer/3Minute Geek Show, and I'll put it up in a branch there until I'm actually ready to merge it. So that's it. See you later. Talk about all the new shortcuts I learned. That's true. I should talk about that, but I didn't. It's 3 minutes, so it's super, super short. The one thing I end up having to do is, at the end of each one, I end up fumbling for the end button. So I end up having to trim just the last seconds of me fumbling with buttons off real quick. Okay? So, all right, so I trim it. So it's now open in voice memos. I name it 3-Minute Geek Show, episode 4. Save. And then I just pull it up, and I'm sorry y'all can't be seeing this, but then you know my super secret email address. I hit mail, and then, oh gosh, I don't remember what my email address is. I don't want you all to see it because then you can post to my podcast. You hooligans. Very well, Mr. Stables. That was not 5 minutes. That was 1 minute and 30 seconds. You don't judge me. All right, my email address is that thing right there, and then I type in the email subject what I want the email the title to be, which is reflections after twitching the site. And the body content of your email is the show notes, so I have to delete my signature. And I just hit send. So I just sent off a 1 minute and 30 second M4A file to my magical, mystery, hidden email address that nobody gets to know. And in a couple minutes, there will be a new podcast episode out. That's it. 3minutegeekshow.com. Football. Yeah, so that's it. So I'm going to go. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. It was a total pleasure seeing you. Hopefully I didn't pick my nose too many times. And yeah, see y'all later.